Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Night Sun by Pipeworks Brewing Company out of Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. You know the gig. We are back to do it once again. There's Andy in the attic. There's Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Pipeworks Night Sun Stout out of Illinois. Really cool can art. I am fearful of the stout. Let's go.
All right. I mean, you were saying how excited you were to have this one. I'll figure.
I don't believe I ever said those words. That's mighty dark.
I can say for certainty he did not say that.
Yes, this was Andrew's pick, and he pushed it. So,
Oh, did I pick this one up?
you did. I sure as hell didn't.
I got a little.
I didn't realize. I saw Stout. I didn't realize there was. Yeah, sorry.
Roast.
You didn't realize it was a stout?
What doesn't say on there what?
It clearly says stout. Night
It
Sun
says stout.
Stout.
Yeah,
but it doesn't say coffee.
Well, most stouts are roasty and have coffee flavor. It's
let's
roasty,
find out.
It's smelling. So, cheers. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Yeah.
I'd say even I can taste the coffee on that one.
Drinking a pot of black coffee.
It's described as an Irish dry stout. It's toasty.
Roasty.
Hints of espresso and chocolate note.
No chocolate.
Toasty espresso and chocolate notes. 5.2%. Website didn't have it. Pipeworks is we reviewed Must Be Earthed, correct? That's the name of that chicory porter.
Correct.
That we did.
Yep. And
I recall, I think they still had some information, like they were in the later of the pandemic, where it was just like drive by, pick up, and all. They still don't have a tap room.
Well, it's Chicago.
They're a microbrewery. Yeah, they're a microbrewery founded in 2012, Chicago, Illinois. They self-distribute in Illinois and Wisconsin, and then they work with distributors out of those two states. But again, no tap room, but you can now come by and buy on site and sample. Like, I guess they'll give you tasters.
Yeah, we get a ton of their stuff in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but their website didn't even have the beer listed on there. So, it must be a seasonal thing, definitely not a year-round. So if it wasn't in the season and it's not year-round, they didn't have it on their site. They didn't have an archive of past beers either.
Gotcha.
So I had to get this information, toasty espresso chocolate notes, from what another site that described the beer in their own self-reviews.
Yeah, because it doesn't say anything about it on the can either.
Mm-mm.
I was looking
looking at the can, you're talking about the can art. It is cool. I think the can art is what caught my eye, and I think at the time I was like, "Oh, we didn't have many stouts, so let's get a stout."
I know that's intentional on my part.
What do you think? What do you think this stuff is?
I don't know.
Trying to figure that out.
If you know Pipeworks and have had several of their beers, which I have, a lot of their stuff centers around kind of some of the supernatural. So, like, their most popular beer is called Ninja versus Unicorn. Then they have another one that I've had called the Lizard King. Blood of the Unicorn's another one that they have. They have like Close Encounter. So, that's the only thing I could figure is maybe that's tied to some sort of supernatural alien landscape.
Well, Yeah, so they go away from the unicorn theme on this one and the ninja theme. I don't know. For me, these look like fat cells, the adipose tissue inside the body. Maybe just hear me out. Maybe we're getting to the end of the digestive tract, and it's oh fiery. It's the inside of the
as
lining of
as
the colon, the lower
as
end.
the Johnny Cash song says.
Yeah, Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe this describes people who don't do coffee well. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I mean that could be it. They do a lot of things that
it's a
surround
stretch, but hear me out. You never know. But they
some
do look
sort of
like fat cells, even though fat
fish or
cells are
bird.
yellow.
So
At first, I thought it was coffee beans. I was like, no, that doesn't look like coffee beans when you get up
yeah,
close.
I
The way
thought
they
that
kind of
too. When
flow
you
into
look
each
at
other.
them, they're not. They're together.
Yeah. Yep. Ben, what do you think?
I don't know, but I've said this a few times. There are certain things that you just don't think you'll talk about when you have a lame beer show.
Nothing's off the table, Ben.
I mean, I agree, nothing's off the table, but you just don't ever think that's going to come up. I mean, you just can't guess what we're going to come up with here, which is,
Flaming butthole at the
I
end of the
guess,
canal
either why.
wasn't on your beer show bingo card.
Yeah, so I guess it's either a reason for you to stay tuned and see what comes next, or quit the show altogether
Yeah.
because of the conversation. I don't know. Only you can make that decision, fan. So, but yeah, I don't know what it looks like, and I'm just ready to kind of
You
move
obviously
on. To
don't
be
have an
honest,
imagination.
All right, Ben. Well, jump
so
in there.
Yeah,
Let's
why
hear
don't you
your
go
review.
first, Ben? Since you can't
yeah,
contribute much, why don't you review it first?
yeah, ooh, um, that's a hard one to go after. To the beer,
That's what we're
definitely,
drinking.
definitely, definitely coffee, definitely espresso. The I get maybe a hint of chocolate. If I do, I think it's more of a dark chocolate flavor. Um, it's subtle, but I can pull it a little bit of it there. But mostly it's the espresso was in the first sip or two. That flavor on the back end was definitely there. Um, I pulled my beer out a little early, try to warm it up a little bit. I didn't get it too warm though. But definitely, as I've sipped a few sips here, it's calmed down a little bit, and I think it's kind of mellowed into a nice stout here. At the 5%, it's not a heavy stout. You know, I'd say it's on the kind of medium to light side as far as just the feel and the body for me. But all in all, I like it. I mean, other than the discussion about the can art here we've had, I think it's been a good experience. So I'm going to go with an 8. All right, Jay, what do you think?
Well, I the can market is intriguing to me. It would have made me think twice about buying it, but um, being not the stout or coffee guy for sure, this one comes across heavy on the espresso and the coffee. Um, you could you have the aroma of the roastiness, but when you take that first sip, it just punches you in the mouth. I don't get any of the chocolate unless it's really maybe a dark chocolate or something there. I did pull mine out as well, Ben, probably 5-10 minutes early to try and let it warm a little. It didn't seem to help for me. Um, so, Pipeworks, I've enjoyed some of their IPAs, but not being a stout guy. To me, this is hard to give much more than a 6.
All right. Stash, what say you?
Speaking of that, I saw an episode. I was flipping through the channels. Magnum PI was on in one of these old channels. I was like, you know what? I
Yeah.
gotta look at it. I gotta get some tips. he did a good stash. Let's just say
He did.
Yeah.
he was a
I mean,
rather
he's always
fine
done a good stash.
mustachioed fella.
Yeah.
I mean, just thick and bold.
Yeah.
He was a very handsome man. back in
Versus this
1980.
thin and gray stuff I carry. You know, you and Ben carry a nice one.
Not the first time I've heard that. Here we go. Let's see. I had the opposite problem of beer preparation than y'all. Because when I got home from work today, I was like, did I
You
put
forgot
any
to
of my
put it in the
beers for
fridge.
review tonight in the fridge? So mine didn't get into the fridge till about an hour and a half before we reviewed. So it did not get too cold. So I think that served me well in that it was nice. It wasn't exactly room temperature, but it wasn't cold at all. And the notes are coming through for me. I get toasted, roasted feel. I get the coffee, and then I get at the back end. That's where I get that bitter. It feels like a bitter chocolate, like a dark.
I guess
not
I
too
could see
sweet.
that.
And I think so. At this temperature, it's to me it seems balanced. It's not a heavy mouthfeel. It's more. It's not too thin. Like it's just right in the middle. So it's a good stout. I mean, and I can see because you can get that coffee, that aftertaste of coffee lingers. So if you don't like it, I understand. You're not going to score it well. But to me, I don't mind it. It's not. I don't want too much coffee in my stout. But again, I said it's balanced. I give it an 8 as well, Ben. It's good stuff.
It's like somebody took an espresso and poured it into my beer.
How much stout do you want in your coffee, Andy?
No.
I don't know. It's first thing weekends. I don't know. It's a good question. I never considered that. Stout coffee.
That is going to be a 7.3 for the Pipeworks Night Sun Stout. Definitely a coffee stout. Very coffee, but definitely if you like a stout and you like some coffee in your stout, or you like some stout in your coffee, this would be one that you should grab and give a shot. If you've had it, let us know what you think. Leave a comment down below. You can check us out on all social media links down below in the description as well. Come by and chat at our Hopped Up Beer Review chat server. It's on Discord, so you can download that app on your phone or connect through your computer and chat with the three of us and the others who have joined us. We also have some links to some Hopped Up Beer Review merch if you have any interest in that. Koozie, shirts, glassware, we've got all that there. And lastly, we have a link for some of the equipment and glassware that we actually have purchased and we use on the show from time to time, as well as the equipment that we use to create the show. Yes, you just sit there like a bump on a log. So that link is below. Check that out if you're interested. With that, for Andy in the attic and Jay, I'm Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
You just crack yourself up all the time, don't you?
Yes. I think we both do.
His Google box is turned over.